a snow bike or fat bike. I guess it's like riding a bike, right? I got it.
Wow, what a cold open. That's me visiting Canada for the first time and learning that Quebec in January in the snow can be tricky. Hi friends, we're rewatching my very first travel show, a show that I self-produced from start to finish. Got a distribution deal to put it on Amazon Prime Video, but never put it right here on YouTube. So that's what we're doing now. Welcome to the rewatch. Okay, this time we're in Quebec. Like I said, it was my first time in Canada, and the culture shock wasn't the food or the language, it was the cold. Listen, I'm a SoCal kid. I'm a wimp at anything cold. I'm the first to admit that. So best way for me to handle this is to be prepared. This trip was presented as a standard press trip for me. It was an adventure experience. We've been in this situation before, talked about those dynamics in other videos. And that is, there's going to be a group of other journalists. So here I am, one-man band shooting again. So you know by now, with a press trip, you'll receive the itinerary. So your things to do on the trip are already set up, but your job as a journalist or a creator is to find a story that actually works for your platform. But do you know how to do that? How do you know how to do that if you've never even experienced anything on the itinerary before? If it's a whole new experience, a whole new destination, we're going to unpack that today. We know you are learning how to tell the story, but how do you actually find the story? So let's break down one of those strategies. And that first step is an itinerary review. So I'm going to talk to you about my personal strategy. And when I get an itinerary, I start clicking around on the links. Not too thorough though. I don't want too much detail because I still want the experience to be pure. And so now I can see what will be presented. Then I need to revisit my own content pillars. For example, mine are history and local culture, the hidden stories. Hello, the show is called Beyond the Usual. But you could be a food creator or a movie buff. There are people who just look for Black stories or Black-owned businesses wherever they travel and they want to visit a Black-owned business or wellness, adventures. You get it. Not just your niche, because on this kind of trip, you're already grouped together. You're already niched out. The trip will be full of journalists who in particular cover adventure or adventure travel stories. You're looking to niche even further and what stories you can find under your own content pillars. Now, once that's sorted, now you're going to do a brainstorm and note the possible stories you can predict. Now, I want to caution that you don't need to stress too much about this part, the fine-tuning of the direction. You actually won't know what the story actually will be because you haven't been there yet. You haven't had the experience. So you're going to give yourself on a break of that, but you're just kind of drafting out what is popping out from the itinerary according to your interest. An example is, let's say you're a food creator. Specifically, you are one that looks for the national or local dish of each destination that you visit. So you'd look up what that would be first, and then you see on the itinerary what opportunities you might have to interact with them. Are you visiting a local market? I know that we have to eat where along the way. Itineraries are often full of hand-picked restaurants and special chef presentations, and this is a wonderful perk of the job. You will always have stops at restaurants. So you gather this information and then you start to prep or do some pre-production. This is your pre-production process. Now you can inquire with the PR and say, hey, I see we're visiting this restaurant. I looked up this chef. Can you actually forward me their menu? I'm interested in learning more about their national dish. You can put in an early inquiry in case you want to spend extra time at a particular stop. And there are also interview opportunities, perhaps the chefs at one of the restaurants or your tour guide in the markets could be somebody. So that's the first benefit of just clicking around and grazing through your itinerary to see what potential interest and stories could be budding. The other major benefit is you're going to want to know what gear to bring. If things are at night, maybe you'll need a top light for dark spaces if you're filming video. What about aerials? Do you have a drone? Will you be able to bring it? Are you allowed to fly? If it's a cruise or safari, maybe you need that bigger camera with a longer lens. Or if it's a market, like we just talked about, then you might want to bring a macro lens and plan to film in slow motion to capture all those beautiful sights and sounds of a busy local market. This prep also helps you know of what to wear. That's part of the gear prep, of course. Will you be hiking? Do you need hiking boots, a dry bag because it's a rainforest? Are you kayaking? Do you need something to record content while you're kayaking? This process personally takes me anywhere from 2 to 4 hours before each trip I take. but it's an essential part of my production process. And I recommend that you make it an essential step to do before you take a trip as much as you can. Because the thing about press trips is that they are typically run and gun, go, go, go. And if you're a writer, you can typically flow with it, take it all in, think about what you saw, later on, write down notes, and then you have the luxury to write about it on your own terms, at your own pace. If you have any follow-up questions, you've taken numbers along the way, you can call back, do a phone interview, even an email interview for them to answer some questions and fill in some holes and gaps. Oh, the luxury of just being a writer-only creator. But if you're a video creator, you only have that time and place to capture what you can. And when that moment is gone, then it's actually missed. So being prepared in this way, I explained, helps you navigate the trip better. Okay, so this is the Quebec experience. We're in the snow. There are fat bikes, snow hikes, luging, and let's go through now how I captured the story and also how I found the story.
This land is my land. This land is your land. From California to the New York.
No. First of all, this land is your land. This land is my land. From Buena Vista to Vancouver Island. From the Arctic Circle.
So the cold open, this is one of those moments where you try to insert kind of like the fun of your actual experience, those authentic, natural experiences. And I used to, as a cold open, hoping that it would translate. A lot of times those things, they either hit, they land, or they don't, because a lot of times they're inside jokes. But I think the main point of me adding it there was to show the cultural difference. Here I am, this American girl growing up with a particular song that is very problematic, but it's kind of a song that at least people from my generation all grew up singing. And here they were growing up in Canada on the same timeline and had totally different words, still just as problematic, but that was the point of that. And then before we move on, I want to also point out something that I noticed immediately was that a little BTS, a behind the scenes moment of the clothing I was wearing, the gear that I was wearing, because we talked about that as part of the prep, and you can see that I did the best that I can. But this was the trip that exposed the limitations of my wardrobe. Again, I'm a SoCal kid. I grew up in LA. And even though at this time I had been living in Atlanta, winter snow and snow sports was really not a part of my regular life. And so I'm just laughing if we could just like unpack what I'm wearing from head to toe. I have the only beanie I had, which was from my university, the UCLA one. I'm wearing one of my old news jackets, and you can see I blur the logo as much as I can. I blurred it here, but throughout the video, you will see that I try to make it not visible at all. And then my base layers, I think that was a scramble for whatever I could find in my closet that looked winterish. I remember specifically looking up what kind of shoes to have in the snow, and duck boots kept coming up. And I remember purchasing them. I will tell you, those did not work for me. And I remember recently having a conversation with somebody who lives near a lake that gets snowy, and they say they love their duck boots. For me, I was slipping and sliding around. I needed boots that had grip, and I've solved that. But it was because of this trip and the exposure and the experience that I learned duck boots for snow trekking and just doing things around the snow was not the jam for me, because I think it was a mixture of snow and ice. Just that's not the solution for me. You guys let me know what you think about duck boots, but let's continue watching.
Quebec's eastern townships are known for its spas, regional cuisine, and high-end lodging. But I'm here to play in the snow.
Stretch.
Bonjour from Quebec, Canada. I'm actually in Bromont at the National Cycling Center. And guys, right behind me, you see the velodrome. This velodrome was actually from the 1996 Atlanta Olympics. Okay guys, so today I'm going to take you on a snow adventure. We're going to ride a velodrome. It's literally called a snow bike, but actually it's called a fat bike. Take a look at this baby.
Fat bikes were originally made to ride in the sand. They've changed the tires to have a deeper thread to dig into the snow.
Support your weight, you shouldn't be riding. So like today, the snow doesn't support our weight.
So we had a compromised route.
the snow bike or fat bike. I guess it's like riding a bike, right? I got it. I was gonna say I rocked it, but I totally rocked it all the way to the ground. All right guys, we're going in for a new adventure today. We're going tubing, but not just ordinary tubing. We're going extreme tubing. And in addition to that, we're gonna take a Zipfy. What's a Zipfy?
Si vous voulez faire tous le Zipfy, je vous le recommande parce que c'est beaucoup, la vitesse de glisse est très lente aujourd'hui dans les tubes.
So he basically just said that the conditions are really good for beginners today. It's not gonna go too fast on the Zipfy, but we're not afraid of fast. No, no, no. Okay, so I got my Zipfy. This is what it looks like. Zipfy. I'm so excited. I'm a little excited, I'm a little scared. The funny thing about this, guys, is that they give you very little training. They just kind of show you how to sit on it, tell you stop with your hand or stop with your feet, and off you go. All right, so we're at the top of the hill and there's no other instructions other than to just go for it. Yep, so I'm gonna sit down and here we go, guys.
And she's off.
Okay guys, this was the test run and yeah, pretty fun. So we're gonna go to the summit, all the way to the top. It's always funny at these things, the children just make it look so easy, they just go for it. That was gnarly. That was crazy. That was super fun. Oh, I totally recommend that. That's way more than tubing. Here at Mount Hatley. An amazing experience.
Okay, I just want to stop here just to say that it looks like I've leaned all the way into that vlogger style. Was a definite choice at this point in the journey of just picking up the camera and saying my thoughts.
Hey guys, up early in the morning here in Quebec and we're going on a snow hike. No, the intention was to go snowshoeing, but the snow isn't high enough. So instead of snowshoes, we're using crampons. So in the wintertime, of course, we're not going to expect to see any bears, but coyotes are around here and hares. So hopefully we'll have some wildlife sightings. How cold is it today?
-1.
-1 Celsius. I like the sound of the crunch with the crampons. So pretty. So I wonder what animals would be out around this time. Luckily it's winter, so no bear threats.
No, not here. See, there's a prey site there. You can see there's a little bit of blood. So maybe a bird or something. And the way to recognize that it's a coyote, it's like a dog. I don't know if you can see it. There's the two little claw marks.
So guys, we're learning how to spot animal tracks and which animals are actually out here. So far we've seen tracks from a kind of small, maybe teenaged coyote, a snowshoe hare, I think what he's called, and some deer.
Do back paw?
Yeah.
And the little front paw. So it's interesting, we see them very well.
I guess like the white snow kind of makes a blank canvas to kind of really see who's living out here. Guys, so today's hike is about 6 kilometers.
The old dam bridge, because you've seen all the old dam there.
Okay guys, that bridge was called the Old Dam Bridge. So that's fun to say. So now we begin the climb in the hike. Congratulations. 2.2 meters, about a third of the way through. Gotta catch up with my group right here. But we certainly climbed a bit. You can see some beautiful shots, but we still have quite a way to go. All right, here we go. Look at that crazy thing. It looks like big snot.
It does, yeah.
So it's just slow, it just was water that slowly dripped?
Yeah.
The passage here is all along the small cliffs.
It's called the cliff passage?
Yeah.
Oh look guys, so this is a fun little discovery. It's called the Secret Passage. That was quite a treacherous run. So the worst is over, you say?
South is about...
We've achieved the worst. We've conquered the worst.
There's one last climb.
Okay.
Wow, that's
one more climb. I'm so tired. He said this was the last one. All right, nearly there. Well guys, finally made it to the summit, and I think it's worth it. Check it out.
Okay, that was the Quebec episode. First of all, that was a super fun experience. A super fun vlog, guys. I previously mentioned me leaning into that vlogger style, but also can you gauge that I made a decided choice of that's how I was going to tell this particular story with there wasn't that many voiceover moments. I just let the sound bites tell the story along the way. And in filming that means that along the way I had a thought of a moment or something that I saw and I'm just picking up the camera and saying it. And for this trip, even though I wasn't able to bring a photographer, I did have an editor. I saw her name come up in the credits, Ina. She was an intern for my production company and she did a wonderful job. She went on several trips, maybe like 7 trips with us for this particular season. I saw her names come up in the credit. It was nice to see that, bringing back memories of the help that she had given me during this season. Okay, again, that was a Quebec episode. Let's talk about what is still open. So the Centre National de Cyclisme de Bromont. Okay, this is in French because it's Quebec, so apologies. That is still open. And it's not just still open, it's been upgraded. The velodrome Sylvain Adams. Sorry. That's been there since 2022. And what that is a 250-meter indoor track, and it's the only one of its kind in Quebec. And Bromont's actually leaning into being the province's cycling capital even harder than it was when we filmed back then. Okay, so Parc du Mont-Hatley, that is one that's genuinely different now. What we did there, the Zipfy, that actually has been stopped and restarted more than once. It was because of money problems, safety concerns, the whole thing. And so right now, Zipfy Luge is listed as a project still in development and not something that you can actually book. The mountain has repositioned itself around biking and alpine ski touring, trail running, and an obstacle course called Base Boot Camp instead. And Mont-Mégantic, that's still exactly what it was. It's still renting crampons at the visitor center so that you can take some trail hikes along their network of trails. And they actually added a new toboggan run since we were there. So the itinerary review is still something I do before every trip. And this Quebec shoot is proof of why it worked and how I found the stories along the way, that particular strategy of me leaning into just filming whatever because it was an experience that I'd not had yet. And that's just one strategy. Over upcoming episodes, we're going to dig into other strategies. But with this strategy of just shooting everything and shooting so much, I came back with so much content because of that pre-production step. I was able not only to produce what we saw, what we needed for the episode, but I sold the tourism board some other content. It was a choose your own adventure series that still is up on my old channel, and it also ran on HuffPost. I also had extra content for my other lifestyle channel at the time, and a stack of social videos on top of that. So one trip, so many different deliverables that earned me money beyond what I initially thought would happen because I was able to do the pre-production. I went in with an idea of knowing what I could tell and what I could find, but while I was there, I was able to hone in things according to my interests. Okay, so next week we're trading snow for salt water. I'm headed to Kauai, and there's a helicopter landing in this one that still gets me every time I watch it. I'll see you in the next video.